Hello, welcome to another edition of our Septic Assistant YouTube videos. Today we're going to show you how to locate, download, and utilize LIDAR data from the USGS, the National Map website. Let's initialize Brisket. This is starting a brand new drawing. We haven't done anything here before. We need to select our name from the drop-down list. We're going to get the LIDAR file first. So it recognizes we're starting a new drawing. We're going to start it in a test folder. And the best thing to do is call it by the street address. It'll save you typing in that same information again. Because there it shows up there. Now we select the county and the town that street address is in. Now if it's an existing house, you can use this get coordinates button. It's 90% accurate. It fills in the coordinates here. If you know that that's not accurate and you have actual coordinates, you can type them in and just don't select that button. So here we're on the National Map website by USGS. It brings us to our site. Our site should be right in the middle of this map, and it is. It's right in here. So once we get here, it doesn't list anything right here, but it knows we're looking for a LAS file. So we're going to select Find Products. This could take a minute to populate. There it goes. This is showing us as two files available in the LAS format, and we can verify which one it is by selecting the footprint. And this is well inside the footprint, so you just see no one line, but if you move your cursor into the boxed area, it'll highlight green. And we know this is the one we want. So now we're going to download LAS. And this starts the download right away. It doesn't send you an email that you have to then go to a link to. It's downloading into our downloads folder right now. Depending on the file size, it could take a minute. We can close this window. This is done downloading now. So now we're going to follow number 2 here, geodata points. There's our coordinates. There's nothing that shows up here yet. We need to accept the LIDAR usage terms. Now if this is the first time you've opened the zip file, you're going to want to keep this to default because you're going to need to get the files also. If you've opened the zip file already, then you can just click this radio button here, which just allows you to select the file. So here's our zip file. It's the only one in our downloads folder. So we just select that and say open. Takes a minute. It's all done now, but this is our file here. Now we're in USGS UTM 19. The UTM should be this calculated one. In some instances, if you're on, for example, the western portion of New Hampshire, even though the UTM is really 18, they've put everything in UTM 19 for the entire state. So you just watch where you are. If the points don't show up on the file, you'll know you did something wrong here. But now we're at 19, State Plain, New Hampshire. We're going to do every second data point. And that's essentially all you have to do here is select the file, select your input coordinates, output coordinates, and how dense you want the grid. And then say OK. Now this takes a minute. It's converting the LAS file, transforming the points, running the NOAA data transformation program. I'm going to save the image. This is the NOAA data transformation program right here, converting all the data points. There's our image. Now it brought us back to where we started from, which was in paper space. So we click the model space, and you see we've got our image with our LIDAR data points laid over it. Now we can create contours here, or we can wait until you bring in your own field data point file to use everything together. We're just going to create contours right here. Create contours and tin. We're going to create contour lines, generate contour lines, and label them. And we're going to say OK. Now we need to make a window around all the data points. You can make a window around as many as you want or as few as you want. Here we're doing 12,354 points. It's creating the contours. It's created the tin in the background. That's what those triangles are. There we go. It's created all the contours. Now, these orange ones look like railroad tracks. Those are what the program perceives as depressions. Those are likely wetland areas. I know right here there's a big culvert that crosses the road, and you can see how the depression leads up to the culvert on both sides of the road. Now, let's say we missed. Let's say our points are actually over here. That's not a problem. We don't need to start from scratch. We're going to go to this function here, the geodata function. We're going to move our grid over by using these offsets. Longitude moves the image left and right. Since we're in New Hampshire here, if you go negative, it brings you to the left, and if you go positive, it brings you to the right. Latitude is up and down, north and south. So if you go a positive number here, it's going to move the image up. If you make it a negative number, it's going to move it down. So you can see how that works. We'll go. That image is about 900 feet by 900 feet. So we're going to split it in half, both directions. Actually, Sure, we'll move it over a full image and then go up half. Now we select the LIDAR terms. Now I've already imported the file once, so we don't need, now we're going to do this one option. Select the file, select our coordinate system, select every other point, say OK. Now it does the transformations again. Now if we keep the same image name, it'll eliminate that first image and just replace it with a new one. Or if we name the image something else, it'll add another image to make what you see on the screen, make your point base larger. Say you've got a bigger site. And this screen is popping up based on your user account settings. If you have a high user account settings, you're going to get this. If you have a lower one, you won't. Again, we're transforming the same number of points we did before is just beside it. So there we go. It brought over the other image right beside and about halfway up our first one. And you can do this, you can create a mosaic of different images here. If you have a large site, you might want to do this 3 or 4 times. This is a lake here, so there's no data points in the water. You can see the roads match up, but that's how this works. And next we're going to do the NOAA data file retrieval process. This was the USGS one, so that's it.